when we take a look at the grammar, what we are doing this week is complex sentences. Now, I did realize that some of the kids seem to struggle with complex sentences. So this is the only worksheet that we're going to do, and then furthermore we're just going to focus on simple and compound, except for in the quiz, where this will come into play. Now the thing that you need to know about complex sentences is that, like with compound sentences, which means you have two ideas that you push into one sentence, the thing with complex sentences is, sure, it's two ideas, but the second idea cannot stand on its own. It's not a sentence by itself. Okay. So, these kids are being silly. Okay. For example, the colorful parrot flew into the tree. If I use a conjunction or a joining word, like we learned with compound sentences, if I use a conjunction or a joining word, I'm just making it a compound sentence. Then I'll just say because I can, or because it was hungry, or whatever. And the sentence, it was hungry, can stand on its own. But what if the sentence read, when it was frightened, the colorful parrot flew into the tree. So let's do this one together. When it was frightened, comma, the colorful parrot flew into the tree. Okay. The reason this is called a complex sentence is because the first part, when it was frightened, is not a sentence that can stand by itself. So, for example, the colorful parrot flew into the tree is a sentence that can stand by itself. It's an idea that I'm giving you. It's something that I'm telling you. But can I say, when it was frightened, full stop? That's my entire sentence. No, that's not a valid sentence. It doesn't make sense without something following it. That's what makes this a complex sentence. Good. Let's look at the second one. I'm going to do that one with you as well. I'm going to do the first three with you. So, the second one says, our cousin wrote us a letter. What if the sentence read, while she was at camp, comma, our cousin wrote us a letter. Now, it has become a complex sentence because there is no sentence. It is not a valid sentence just to say, while she was at camp, full stop. That's not an entire idea that I'm communicating with you. It's not a valid sentence. That is what makes it compound. You have added to the sentence with another idea, but the second idea cannot stand by itself, and that makes it a complex sentence. Let's look at number 3. The wind blows on the mountaintop. Now, you could change it into the wind blows on the mountaintop until the sun goes down. Because the second part that you have added to the sentence to give it more meaning, the second idea that you have added to the sentence to give it more meaning cannot stand on its own. You cannot just make a sentence that says, until the sun goes down, full stop. No, there will be more questions. The sentence is not complete. That is what makes this complex, because the second idea that you added cannot stand alone. If the second part of the sentence could stand alone, it would not be a complex sentence, then it would be a compound sentence. Like, the wind blows on the mountaintop because it is high, or something like that, or because that's where it reaches, or something like that. Okay? Or because you can see it in the trees. There you have your conjunction, and you can see it in the trees, full stop, is a full sentence. That's what makes it a compound one. Complex one is when the second idea cannot stand by itself. Alright, so I want you to go try and do the rest of those sentences by yourself to complete them and make them complex sentences. So let's look at number 4. Susan laughed loudly at the circus. You go add a second idea that cannot stand on its own. Number 5, the cowboy rode a black horse through the town. Go add a second idea that cannot stand by itself. Number 6, Jeff and Chris play on the baseball team. Once again, you're going to go add a second idea that cannot stand by itself. Number 7, I often eat salad. And number 8, the pirate sailed across the ocean to the island.